Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of AniBreak, the show where we break down the week's hottest topics in anime, manga, and video games. My name's Jason, and there are so many conventions in this, past 30 days. Many that I've heard that are very good. Some that I've heard had problems, and other ones I just shake my head at. But regardless of that, I'm sure most people who went to all these conventions had a blast, and more often than not you do, because you pay and you get to hang out with friends and make new friends and check out some cool anime and manga, and of course buy a crap load of stuff and go broke in the exhibit hall, because that's what a con's about, right? It's not about the friendship or the checking out the goes, it's going broke. Or was that just me? Anyways, I want to start off with actually something that surprised the crap out of me. And it's something that actually was shown during Fanime. And we're not talking about a guest of honor. We're not talking about a panel. We're not even talking about a certain person. We're talking about a certain thing. I have to show this. This thing is amazing. I'm going to bring the video up here. There was a certain prop there. This is what I'm going to show. This is actually from Accents Creations, who hosts these awesome videos from all the conventions all over the country. Someone made a 1:1 scale Evangelion entry plug. I could not believe it when I saw the image. I was like, really? That is just crazy. And the thing is, I gotta imagine the line to sit in this and take pictures with this. This had to be like at least a mile long. It has to, because that thing is just so cool. Now, the person who created it is a guy named Lionel Lum, and you might have heard that name before. He's been making props for almost a decade now. This one took him about 2 to 3 weeks to build. But the crazy thing about it, most of the parts you can get at like arts and crafts stores, maybe a little bit of lumber at Home Depot. This whole thing cost him about $300 minus the orange plastic on the ground. That's a bit expensive by itself. Now here's my question. You're gonna have, I mean, epic, props like this for cosplay, and people have created some huge, intricate, detailed, props before. Where do you go from here is the question. Now, I mean, granted, if you branch outside of just the anime cosplayers, some people get very crazy with their ideas for their cosplay outfits. I actually remember seeing this one person a couple years ago at a convention who created their version of GLaDOS. In that, I mean, he was pushing this thing along, and it was hanging up off of this little platform, and you can see the whole GLaDOS, but it was moving around, it was flashing, had all the different voice commands put into it. Absolutely insane. You gotta wonder, though, how much of a burden will it be to try to push that stuff around, for 4 or 5 days, not to mention try to transport it. I mean, I've shared rooms with cosplayers before at previous conventions, and just 1 or 2 of them will fill up the entire hotel room with their stuff. Then you create something like that. I can only imagine. Still, absolutely amazing. I wonder if it's going to make its way to AX. Given the fact that Fanime is not too far away from Anime Expo in terms of location, it has a chance. Make some very cool photo ops. Speaking of giant props and live-action cosplay, kind of an odd segue, but we're going to talk about Kiki's Delivery Service for a moment. We've discussed the fact that a live-action movie adaptation of the novel, the original novel, is currently in production. If you're expecting things to look like Studio Ghibli's version of Kiki's Delivery Service, you may be disappointed. Here's actually the first promo photo that was released for this movie. Now, Kiki in this movie is being played by a 16-year-old lead actress named Fuka Koshiba. And you've probably never heard of her before. She actually won the role in like a nationwide audition process, kind of like American Idol, I'm guessing. I forget how many thousands of kids actually auditioned for this. But she won the role. Now I look at it and I'm going, okay, you have the aesthetic down, and I'm going to do my best to actually put Studio Ghibli's version out of my mind when I go see this, because I've actually read the novel. I've read the story that it's based off of. And if I'm going to use that as a basis for this live action version, I think I might enjoy it a lot more, and I would suggest for the rest of you guys to do the same. Now granted, you're going to get a number of people, probably yourself included, who are going to go see this movie and go, okay, Studio Ghibli's in my mind, let's see how this relates. It's not really the best way to do it, in my opinion. Now granted, we're not going to see this movie for quite some time. Hell, it's not going to be released in Japan until spring 2014. Now, if we happen to have a convention in 2014 or a film festival around that time that's able to showcase it in the States, I'll go see it. But we're going to have a long wait anyways, so. But speaking of movies, and speaking of Japan, you guys might remember a little CG movie called Vicseal. Came out after the first Appleseed CG movie, which I still adore. The TV series, not so much. But this movie would seem to be very, how to put it? I would say this movie almost got overlooked by many people. It didn't have the draw of Appleseed. It didn't have, it didn't have the appeal, in my opinion. When people heard about this, they're like, oh, so we're just taking the same ideas from Appleseed and putting it into a different story. I think that might have turned off a lot of people with it. Now, the reason I'm talking about this is because this should be saved for From Mother's Basement, but Hollywood has lost its damn mind, because Universal Pictures have acquired the rights to create a live-action adaptation of this movie. The only people that they have announced so far that's attached to this project are a couple people who were the producers of the remake of Red Dawn. The scriptwriter worked on past movies that featured Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. So, I don't know. I mean, I look at this and I go, if you're going to have those type of people and you're going to have that kind of action sequences and try to tailor this to an American audience, I don't think it's going to work. Very rarely have Eastern storylines fared well at all when brought over and westernized. The biggest case in point would be Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within. I was hoping for that to be so good, but no. So yeah, Hollywood's lost its damn mind again, and let's just hope that either A, the people who are writing the script actually appreciate and try to incorporate the original storyline into this and not try to change this too much, or B, one of the executives at Universal Pictures will have the same epiphany as one of the executives over at Warner Brothers and nix this damn thing before it even hits production. But that's just me. I started off the show stating that a lot of conventions were over the past few weeks, and therefore there were many announcements. We've covered a bunch of them in last week's episode. This week I want to just talk about a few here and there. Funimation, they made the announcement that they are going to re-release Sakura Wars the movie on Blu-ray stateside. That's going to be nice. Now, I have the movie on DVD. It'd be nice to see it on Blu-ray. A nice feature is that they already announced that they're keeping the original Geneon Entertainment English dub for this Blu-ray. They're not going to redub it. They're not going to get a new cast. They're not even going to try to tweak it all that much. I mean, they're going to keep it. They're going to keep it 5.1. Oh, it's going to be nice. If you guys haven't seen it yet, you can either one, wait for the Blu-ray, or two, go online, get the DVD. It's actually fairly cheap now. The series was fun as well, Sakura Wars TV. The movie itself it's a little dated. I mean, it came out in, I think, January of 2001. So, if you're looking for the latest graphics and very smooth animation, well, there are segments of that throughout this movie, but overall, just enjoy it for the sheer fun of it all. Funimation also made an announcement of the English dub for Haganai, or I Don't Have Many Friends is the translated title. And I have to share this with you guys because you guys must share in this. They actually released a trailer with the English dub. I have no idea what we just listened to. I had to share it with you guys. Now, you know me, I've said it time and time again, I will give English dubs their fair shot, and a good deal of them are actually enjoyable. They've, as a whole, have been getting significantly better over the past few years. And I was a big fan of the original series. I mean, to the point where I have, you know, I have some of the manga, I have the, some of the figures on pre-order. It's a fun series. I think the reason why the dub doesn't even seem to fit the characters, in my personal opinion, it's, and I could be wrong, but I looked at the list of the cast, and to be honest, there wasn't a single person on this list I've ever heard of before. Like, Kodaka is voiced by Jerry Jewell, and I'm sorry, I've never heard of Jerry. I'm not bashing him whatsoever, just that I haven't heard his work before, so we'll have to see what happens. The thing is, Haganai is going to be available. They are splitting it up into, of course, the season box sets, which is nice. They're not going to do the whole Season 1 Part 1 and Season 1 Part 2 like it's been the normal trend lately. But Season 1 will be available on DVD and Blu-ray, I think sometime this summer. Don't have a price yet. I'm sure we'll get more information at Anime Expo, which is only in a few weeks. So, but if anything, if you're a fan of the series, I'd say pick this up and then go to the Japanese dub, and then we'll just move on from there. Kathy the Goth, you don't know Jerry Jewell? Like I said, I will give English dubs their shot, but I'm not completely current on who actually has done what. So, oh, he comes to Anime Vegas every year. I still need to go to Anime Vegas, you know, one of these times, so. Moving on to Section 23, they released their release slate for this upcoming September, and a couple things, you know, caught my eye. One in particular, first off, this one's not for me, but there are fans of it out there. That AKB 0048, the Season 1 Complete Collection, will be available September 3rd. On DVD and Blu-ray, and like I say, Sentai Filmworks has the decent pricing scheme. If you want this thing on DVD, it's $60. If you want the first season on Blu-ray, it's $70. That's a good deal. There are a couple others, the Pat Labor TV collection, which is fun. Go-Go 13 Complete, I might have to pick that one up. Awesome. It's going to be available on DVD and Blu-ray. Nyan Koi, the complete series on DVD and Blu-ray, also $60 and $70 for, you know, the like. They did announce the Queen's Blade Rebellion collection on DVD and Blu-ray. But I'm like, okay, those are kind of cool. There's one that I have to buy just because this series was just that epic. Yes, I just picked it up again on DVD semi-recently, and I will buy this on Blu-ray. I'm talking about Elfen Lied Complete. The complete series, and I believe including the OVA. It's going to be available on DVD and Blu-ray. Looking, again, early half of September. Now, because this is a re-release back from the ADV days, this is going to be nice because Section 23 is going to release the DVD version with English and Japanese dub and sub, so you have your choice, for $40. If you want this on Blu-ray, it's $50. That is a damn good deal, in my opinion. And let's be honest, it's an absolutely incredibly awesome yet very bloody and disturbing series, and there should be more of this on TV, but that'll never happen stateside. So that's what's going to happen. Okay, let's move away from the the Anime Con announcements. We'll get to the guest announcements in just a little bit, but I want to share another video with you guys. And this one, I've talked about it before, and I just scratched my head. I was confused as all hell as why they're gonna go with this. And then it clicked in my mind: money. And if there's anybody in this world that has a crap ton of money, it's Microsoft. And so what better way to get massive hype in Japan for the Surface tablet than tying in with Ghost in the Shell Arise. There has been some images like this. There's some ads all over Japan that I've seen online. Looks really cool. In terms of the design, I like the fact that it gives me more chances to take a look at the character design, what to expect from this 4-part OVA. Now, we've shown you the latest trailer, and that destroyed all doubts in my mind about this upcoming series. And then they created a couple commercials featuring the Surface tablet, and I went, okay, that has to be just the end of it. But no, it's actually an animated short called Ghost in the Shell Arise, Another Mission. And let's just go ahead and show it. I'll say this. It's a 3-minute video that showcases the animation quality and the production standards that we will receive in these upcoming 4-part OVAs. And in that section, in that viewpoint, it is awesome. Is it odd that Microsoft teamed up with Production IG to create this short and try to include one of their products into Ghost in the Shell? No. This is not a new thing whatsoever. And it's not even just tied with, with just Ghost in the Shell. I believe it was Production IG early last year partnered up with Mercedes-Benz to create a 6 or 7 minute original video that showcased the upcoming A-Class. And that was amazing. I showed that on this show several times. But yeah, now, does this mean that the Microsoft service will be shown within the actual OVAs themselves? That's left to be seen. It could be a good thing. It could be a bad thing. It's just a money thing. Let's leave it at that. We were glad to see a hell of a lot more, animation from Production IG about Ghost in the Shell Arise, and we move on from that. I mean, that's the best way for me to look at it. If I try to sit and think about it even some more, 1, that's pointless, and 2, I most likely will rage. So let's just quickly go through a few more things. Starting up with Pony Canyon. The company in Japan decided we want to help out someone. They announced a contest. This is the first time this contest has been created and hosted by Pony Canyon. They call it the Anime Adaptation Competition. What this basically means in layman's terms is, if you have an idea for an anime, submit it to Pony Canyon. If yours is selected, you earn, I think, the prize winner will receive 1 million yen, that's about $10,000 US, and the opportunity to have your idea turned into an anime. Now, you have a couple different ways to submit. You can just you can create a short manga, like 16 or 17 pages long, submit that. A novel that's just outlines the scenario or the plot, some illustrations, or just go through music. You can have any genre you want, but here's the kicker though. All submissions have to be submitted in Japanese. So if you're thinking, you know what, I'll just write it all up, I'll write a synopsis, I think it's really cool, I've been working on this idea for years, I'm going to throw it through Google Translate and send it to them. No, what you get out of that is moonspeak. That's not Japanese. So you may have to pay a friend or someone to translate it for you if you don't know Japanese yourself, but everything in the fine print that I can read did not limit this to within the boundaries of the country of Japan. It just has to be submitted in Japanese. So you have, with that in mind, if you have an idea for an anime, you might win $10,000 and the chance for it to be actually turned into an actual thing. I think that's a cool idea. Now, you guys have some time to submit. I mean, you have until September 2nd. The winners will be selected sometime in October. So you have some time to work on an idea and get it translated correctly and then ship it over. So you can go to Pony Canyon's website, look for the information, and best of luck to you. Because I told you about it, I get a 10% cut. Got it? Alright, cool. Real quick, gonna fly through a couple other announcements. Anime Expo, they already had like 20 guests, and they decided that wasn't enough. There are some years where Anime Expo, I think, goes for quantity over quality. This year, I thought was going to start going down that same path, but these latest announcements are kind of evening that out. They announced another musical guest, Porno Graffiti, of all bands. I was like, okay, that's kind of a cool one. I mean, GTO, Fullmetal Alchemist, just the regular non-anime theme songs are awesome. So you guys can check them out at Anime Expo. I believe they're going to have a concert, I think, in Club Nokia. I think that's where it's going to be at. I'm not quite sure. But they will have a concert. I'm guessing you'll probably have to get a ticket for it because it's not in the convention center. The other announcement was a producer of a very, very popular series right now, which is called Attack on Titan. The producer of the series, George Wada, is going to show up on behalf of Wit Studio. I think that's pretty awesome. I mean, the guy has worked on not only, of course, Attack on Titan, but Guilty Crown, Psycho-Pass, Robotics Notes, Sengoku Basara. I mean, good stuff. So the guy knows what he's doing, and obviously because Attack on Titan is huge right now, and it's great. I'm absolutely loving it. So he'll probably do the standard. He'll do panels, Q&A session, probably a couple autograph sessions. You'll see him around the convention itself. And there are two last things, I guess. There is a figure that got a lot of hype, and I was gonna supposed to take over, all the figures, and it's gonna, everybody's gonna pre-order this. And I look at this and I go, it's just not for me. What I'm talking about is this one. Good Smile Company has finally released the pre-orders for the Deep Sea Miku figure. This one's actually fairly large. It's 1/8 scale. The detail is kind of impressive, to be honest. There's a lot of detail, especially in her hair, the outfit, how it flows. That's not her. Let's go back to that. There we go. And I mean, they try to tempt you with a few more things, and that if you pre-order it through Good Smile's website, you can get like a limited edition poster and I think a couple other things that are okay. It's kind of nice. The poster itself is just a picture of the figure. Okay, some people might enjoy that. If that's not your cup of tea, I'm sure you can probably order it through any other websites, Hobbylink Japan, Ami. You have a number of places. It's going to be a little over $150 US. It's currently at 14,800 yen. So you can pre-order now. It's not going to be available. It's not going to be released until December. So you have some time to save up. For me, I look at this and go, it's cool. The design, especially the little set that she's on with the base and all the coral and whatnot, that's cool. Am I going to get this? No. The main thing that turned me off was how crazy her hair is in this one. Like, if you just cut down the hair by like 60%, I would buy it. But no, it's just a little too much just for my personal tastes. So you guys can check it out if you want. It is up for pre-order right now. And the final thing has to do with Attack on Titan. And there have been some really good cosplayers of characters from the series. But I think this is the first someone decided to cosplay as characters from the series and then go bungee jumping. Yeah, Midori Fukasawa. She's primarily known for her goth lolly fashion work. she decided to cosplay and then go bungee jumping. She took a bunch of pictures, had some of them, tweaked some of the design to actually, like you see right here in front of you. I think this is one hell of a great idea. I'm surprised no one has thought of this before. I mean, here's another shot of her jumping down. Now you can easily just take out the bungee in Photoshop or whatnot, and then you have a really awesome picture that very, very few people could copy, even try to imitate. I think it's awesome. I hope this starts a trend of, like we started with the beginning of the episode with the 1/1 scale entry plug from Ava. I hope this starts a trend of getting some really innovative and really cool ideas out there. I mean, there already been some great cosplay outfits, and there's been some great designs for photo shoots, but these ones just take it not even just one step beyond, but just several steps beyond. Now, who's going to try to top these? We'll have to find out. Well, that's going to be it for this episode of AniBreak. Stay tuned for post-show. I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out with me this week. As always, you can catch me at 7 o'clock every single Wednesday right here at AniBreak.com. Also, a reminder, on Sundays at 5 p.m., I co-host with my good friend Michael Underwood From My Mother's Basement, which is a celebration of everything geek. And this upcoming episode is going to be game and Mac heavy because we have, of course, E3 coming up, as well as Apple's WWDC, which is the Worldwide Developers Conference. But that's going to be it. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. I'm Jason, and we'll see you guys next week. Take it easy.